Hey, welcome. My name is Tucker Barnes, and I work at Fox 5 DC in the weather department, currently the Chief Meteorologist. And I'm checking in with you today because we have lots and lots of weather to talk about locally. It's not just local here in the Washington area, but really this is an eastern half of the country kind of day where there's a lot of serious weather impacts. We got snow in places like Chicago. We got really gusty winds in the forecast for the big cities up and down the eastern seaboard, flooding concerns, lots of weather to talk about. So let's hop on in together and we'll go through some headlines for you and try to answer some questions here you might have as far as air travel and as far as flooding concerns and that kind of thing for later today. All right, let's take a look, and there you go. There's some headlines for you. The heavy rain and wind in the forecast across the DMV, but honestly kind of up and down the eastern seaboard for your afternoon. The winds, they will be very gusty around here. We've got wind advisory and high wind warnings for the region for later today. I do want to mention that tomorrow, although the rain will be out of here, we'll still be dealing with some gusty winds. The only good news in this forecast, locally, our temperatures are going to be about 15 degrees above normal. That very strong southerly wind will push temperatures up near 60 degrees later this afternoon. So we do have warmer temperatures to look forward to as we get into the afternoon hours. All right, looking at current conditions, we are now 47 in Washington. Notice that wind out of the east-southeast there at 17 miles an hour. That's picking up, and the gusty winds that we're expecting, that wind field we're expecting to arrive later today, will move in shortly. And the worst of the winds, the wind advisory is going to effect after 3 o'clock this afternoon. So winds are just getting going. That's a live shot down in southern Maryland in Leonardtown, where it's been raining all morning. We've seen sort of waves of rain move through. Already several tenths of an inch of rain recorded so far today. All right, what not to touch on is the question. I'll start out west in the mountains where they had heavy snow overnight. The snow field is falling apart as the warmer air moves in aloft, and we're seeing it change to rain, and you can see heavy rain in the mountains. One of the big concerns, we got a snowpack north and west. If you're in the mountains, that snowpack will melt off as the rain comes down, and we're concerned we're going to get some flooding out there. So that's an immediate concern. Across the immediate Washington area, it's been raining all morning with the worst yet to come, and we are under a flood watch. Localized amounts, 1 to 3 inches of rain expected by late this evening. So that's a lot of rain. And don't forget, we've had a lot of rain around here the last couple weeks. About 7.5 inches of rain in Washington since December the 1st. And of course, just as recently as last Saturday, we picked up an inch of rain along with some snow with the storm system that moved through. So very, very intense and sort of progressive pattern across the eastern half of the country. And we're going to be in it not only today, but we've got several more storms on the horizon down the road. All right, I mentioned travel spots. We'll start in Atlanta. They've got a very strong line of thunderstorms move through the southeast this afternoon, and there are tornado watch boxes up for parts of northern Florida, eastern Georgia, for a time that included severe thunderstorms in Atlanta. They've had travel delays at the airport there of about an hour. Increasing delays at our local airports at both Reagan National and Dulles, about 15 minutes, but those are up in the past hour or so. And then let's talk about Chicago, St. Louis, back towards Omaha, Milwaukee, under a winter storm warning. 4 to 8 inches of snow in Chicago by late this evening. They're on the backside of this. But all of that rain you see for Washington viewers that's off to the south and west down towards Atlanta, it's still got to move through here, including the frontal system. So it's going to take a little time, and we'll be in for an afternoon of rain, which will only kind of pick up in its intensity as that front gets closer late this afternoon. Here's our futurecast, and we'll kind of walk through it together. There we are at 4 o'clock, so it's been raining all afternoon. Worst of the rain between about 4 and 8 p.m. You notice the darker yellows and reds there? That's the actual frontal system coming through, and that's when the winds will be at their worst. Ahead of that front, our winds could gust later this afternoon to about 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour here at Reagan National in D.C., and closer to the bay where we have high wind warning. Parts of southern Maryland, if you're on the western shore of that bay, you could see winds gusting to 60 miles an hour. So the real deal of winds. It all gets out of here tonight. We'll still be in for a windy day tomorrow, but that's tomorrow morning. You can see we've got improving conditions and clearing skies. So it looks a lot brighter tomorrow. We'll get a chance to dry it out. Flood watch is mid-Atlantic. If I extended this map, you'd see it up and down the eastern seaboard. Remember, they've seen some pretty good snow amounts off to the north, and all of that will melt off in this heavy rain this afternoon. So very concerned that not only will you see ponding on roadways, you could start to see rivers and creeks start to have some flooding issues. In addition, you ready for this? With that very strong wind out of the south, we're likely to see some tidal flooding on the Potomac, parts of the western shores of the Chesapeake, out towards Annapolis, and spots that typically see flooding will likely see flooding this afternoon with high tide. And there are your wind warnings. Wind advisory for Washington, gusts to 50. The orange you see down towards Ocean City and then extending back towards the western shore of the Chesapeake, that's a high wind warning. We could see gusts in places like Annapolis, parts of Calvert County, St. Mary's County to 60 miles an hour this afternoon. Power outage is certainly a possibility. And I'll kind of walk you through that wind field. There we are this afternoon in about an hour. We're getting winds to 30, and then look what happens by late this afternoon up ahead of the front. Winds gusting 40. Look at that. That's a potential wind gust to 57 in Annapolis, 58 in Cambridge. That is a real deal of wind. So make sure you are ready to go. If you have any loose, objects that are out in your yard, leftover holiday ornaments, that kind of thing, make sure they're secure or they will end up in your neighbor's yard by late this afternoon. Looks a little better tomorrow, although we'll still have some pretty good breezes around here tomorrow. We are not under wind advisories for the day on Wednesday. All right, there's your weekend forecast, and let's just revisit tomorrow is a sunny and bright day, Thursday as well. Friday, guess what? We got rain back in the forecast by late in the afternoon and at night. Some of that rain could be heavy. We'll get it out of here for the weekend, and I think MLK Day will be dry, but get this. We got Arctic intrusion next week. We'll have much colder air, and if we get a storm on Tuesday, that would not be rain. That might be snow. So we got a lot of weather to watch here here at Fox 5 and, of course, on Fox Local, and we'll be streaming and that kind of thing over the next couple of days. All right, you know where to find me. Smart TV, Fox 5. Find that Fox Local app. Turn us on, and we'll give you the very latest here as we have lots of weather to talk about over the next week. Great to see you. Got any questions, you can X me, Tucker Fox 5. Have a great afternoon.